Hello, everyone. Today we have with us Margo the Beauty Guru, and we're going to find out exactly what that means. Margo is not only a business female entrepreneur, she owns 3 spas, and I'm going to let her tell you all about it because this woman is amazing. They're not just your typical spas, and she's not just your typical female business entrepreneur either. Margo, without further ado, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, hello, everyone. Jonelle, thank you so much for having me today. I'm super excited to just introduce myself. My name is Margo Taylor, and I am the owner of Sheek Studio, also known as Margo the Beauty Guru. So just to give you a little bit about our spas, I have 3 locations. I have one in McDonough, one in Fayetteville, and our newest location is in Avondale Estates in the Decatur area. And we provide spa services. So we provide facials.
I don't want you to run through it. I don't want you to run through it.
Oh.
Okay, so I want to know which location was your ultimate baby that you birthed first? Which one's your first child?
My first location was the McDonough location. So
okay.
That was my very first location. And actually, if we can back up a little bit, I actually started Sheek Studio as a home business in my basement.
Wow.
6.5 years ago. Yes. So that's how we basically birthed Sheek Studio. And then my first location was here in the McDonough area.
Okay, now the reason I ask you is because most women will watch this video and they will think, oh my goodness, Margo, she had 3 spas, and they think they got to immediately run out and start looking for a location. And that's why I wanted you to tell a little bit about how you first started and how everything came about, because sometimes people look on social media or they'll go out and they have a warped view about, building up your clientele and just getting started and just these heavy decision-making, ideas. So when you were at home, like, were you giving your husband facials? Were you giving yourself facials? And you were like, I think I could really get into this. How did that all come about?
Well, funny enough, I actually initially started Sheek Studio as me being a lash stylist. Wow. So at that particular time, I was not doing facials. I was not doing a whole spa glam thing. It was just me. And I practiced on my friends and family. They came out, they supported, and they came to my home-based business. So that's how I started Sheek Studio 6.5 years ago.
Wow. So that wasn't even, you haven't even been doing this for decades.
No, I have not.
Years. So we're going to take off 2 of those years because it was a whole pandemic where I know no one wanted you to be breathing all over them. So basically, you were looking at 4 years of truly operating at full blast.
Yes, full blast, full throttle, working very hard. And some of those points in growing the business, I worked 7 days a week. So it definitely was a complete dedication on my end to be successful in the industry.
Good thing we have editing. Okay, so now let me ask you, was your basement filled wall to wall with people back to back, or was your husband like, okay, y'all ain't got to go home, but I think it's time to expand? When did you know it was time for you to start looking for a brick and mortar location?
Well, I was actually working in my basement for about 5 months.
Okay.
So at that time, by the time I got to the 5-month mark, I started having all of these people calling and like, hey, my coworker comes to you. Hey, my aunt get her lashes done. I want to come. I want to try. And then at that point, of course, you don't want a lot of complete strangers coming to your home. And of course, I had a, husband and kids. So we made the decision that, okay, I'm ready. I have sustained enough clientele for me to go ahead and move on to the next level.
Wow. Okay, now how long was it before you knew, you know what? I need to be on the other side of town. I need to go somewhere else. Like, how did you know, like, business was booming enough that you needed a second location?
Well, actually, after opening my McDonald location, within a 12-month span of time, my business and clientele had grown so well. I was like, wow, let me just go ahead and try it. So my first year in business, I was in business for about 11 to 12 months. I decided to open up my Fayetteville location.
Wow. Now, are you a native of Atlanta?
I am not. Actually, I'm from Miami, Florida.
See, now so many people, they come to Georgia and they do way more than the people right here in Georgia do. And then they have the nerve to get upset about it.
Yeah,
It's called
it
ambition.
happens. It happens, honey. This is where it's at. I came to Georgia and, it's just been up ever since.
Now, how did you decide on the Fayetteville would be the proper location for the second salon? Or
So at
spot?
that,
You
so
saying
at that
salon.
time, yeah, so at that time, the beauty industry was definitely growing. Lashes was definitely a thing. And that area was not saturated with competition. So I did a little research, every time before I open up a location, I'm always researching, seeing my competition, making sure that, the services will do great in the area. And once I looked at Fayetteville, there at that time, there was no stylist, maybe one or two. So I was like, hey, I'm in the game. I can go ahead and step into this area and go ahead and lock it down for a second location.
Wow, that's nice. So research. So number one, locations, you got to have clients, and then you got to do your research. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now you got two beautiful, amazing spas, and you're like, this is just not good enough. You know what? I think it's time for us to just go ahead. Now, what did your husband say when you were talking about the third salon?
Well, my husband has always been extremely supportive. A lot of times he actually sees the vision and sees things before I actually get it. So he was ultimately so supportive. He definitely was like, it's time, the timing is everything. And I had 100% his support. So opening up
That
the third location, he was like, yep, let's go for it.
I absolutely love it. Now, why Avondale Estates?
Well, I chose Avondale Estates, funny enough, because we didn't discuss this part yet, but
Okay.
I was actually a police officer prior to opening up Sheek Studio.
Wait a minute, you
And
was the lash wearing police officer?
yes, I
You was one of
was.
the prettiest women on the
I
force.
was. I loved my lashes. So even though I was out there serving and protecting the community, I was cute.
You was cute. You
I
was
was cute.
beautiful.
I was cute. So I actually used to police the Avondale Estates area when I was a police officer some years back. And I just took a ride in the area, saw how much it was changing, evolving. The area had become a lot more trendier. And, you see people jogging up the street, and it's like seeming like this is the next spot. So
Yes.
that's what really encouraged me to actually put my third location in the Avondale Estates area.
Wow. So I love that because it's very important for people, like a lot of people looking in, we have over 1 million viewers each month. And a lot of them are younger people looking to start businesses. I wanted to put a lash vending machine at the colleges at one
Mhm.
point because I'm
Mhm.
like, they don't have to leave campus. And all
Right.
these girls are just wearing these ridiculous eyelashes. Like, I mean, ridiculous. These girls are something else, honey.
They are.
But that's great because that's what's making, they're setting the trends. They're setting
They
the
are.
trends for their mothers. Now the
Mhm.
mothers and daughters are coming together to get lashes. I'm like,
They
how
are.
old is she? They're like 16 and
Mhm.
the mothers are there for it. But
Yeah.
that's one thing I do think besides music that Atlanta is up on game in the beauty department. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Women in Atlanta, they love beauty. Women love beauty all around the world. That's why it's $1 billion industry.
True.
So yeah, we love to be pretty. We love to feel beautiful. So yeah, that we're into it.
Now you have to have the patience of Job to be a lash tech because oh my goodness, like just it's so tedious. And then you are there for 45 minutes to 2 hours sometimes, depending
It
on the
is.
client, and you want everything to just be so perfect. Are you a perfectionist?
I am. I,
Okay.
I'm I'm one that I pay very close attention to detail. I'm a real detail oriented person by nature. So definitely being an esthetician, doing lashes, that's my passion. And ultimately that kind of gifted the actual Sheek brand where I was, my clients was asking like, hey, it'll be great if I come when I get my lashes done that I can get, a facial, I can get a massage, or I can get a body wax. And so that's what kind of catapulted me into opening up the business and the brand a little bit more and expanded it more to spa services. But definitely, even in all of those areas of my business, I'm very particular on, how I want things to go. So yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm very particular.
Now, how did you derive at a business name, Sheek?
Actually, my husband named it.
Nice, nice. What were
Yes.
the other two names that you were thinking of? Do you remember still?
Actually, I didn't come up with a name at all. I was actually going to my lash class because I was, trying to figure some things out when I was a police officer. And I was, the young lady that did my lashes, she was like, girl, I'm doing a lash class. You should join. And I'm like, girl, I'm a cop. What do you mean I should come to your lash class? I'm like, you must really want some students. You must really want some people to take your class. Exactly. But I ended up taking her class. And the second day, I was having such a challenge. And I woke up that morning, I told my husband, I was like, you know what? Because I'm a visionary, if I can envision it, I can achieve it, I can do anything. And I told him, I said, if I could name my business, then I think it'll give me more ambition to get through this class and do what I need to do on the other side. So he was like, really? I was like, yeah. So like, I'm getting dressed for class and I'm like, could you help me come up with a name? Like, man, I need to figure out a name. And he was like, why don't you name it Sheek Studio? And I was like, Sheek Studio. I was like, I kind of like that. And I was like, but you know what? I'm gonna change the spelling. But you know what? Let's go with Sheek Studio. And you know what? It was just that simple. That's how
Wow,
Sheek Studio was created.
I love it. See, like he's really making it complete.
Yep,
Okay. I
absolutely.
love her husband and wife team. Like, love wins.
Yes.
They always say that. So
Mhm.
now let me ask you, what advice would you give to someone, especially right now? There's inflation, there's the cost of everything has probably gone up crazy in comparison when you started, purchasing everything. So right now, what advice would you give a newer person coming to you saying, um, Miss Margo, what do you think I should do first? Should I only do facials because then I could just make my own facial products? Or should I only do lashes because I can, go in and cut corners and get them for $2 over here and then come back? Like, a lot of people I know try to take shortcuts, but you don't seem like a shortcut taker at all.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, the most important thing that, a future business owner, someone that's looking to open up a spa business, they have to understand that there's no right or wrong way to start services. It's just all about what you're comfortable with or who you have the ability to hire to provide the services. So whether you're starting a business off with lashes or you're starting a business off with facials, the thing about being an esthetician, you have so many different things that you can do. You can do makeup, you can do facials, body waxing. You can start your spa off initially however you choose. And we always say in the beauty industry, choose your lane. Whatever is comfortable for you, that would be the ideal thing to start your business doing. And as far as inflation goes, I would definitely, because we're feeling it not even in the just for on the business side of things, but just personally, right? We're going to the
Yeah.
grocery store, getting gas. So everybody is feeling the inflation. But what I will say is, yes, the products are a little more expensive, which will cause the services to be a little bit more expensive. But as a business owner, what I really try to be intentional with doing is to make sure that I'm still pricing my services where they're reasonable enough for my clients to continue to come and enjoy their self-care.
Right, because you don't want to outprice, people try to
Right.
do that all the time. And they're like, oh no, they got to know that this and that when they're not even established and they're charging way more than people who've been in business for years.
Right. And unfortunately, some people get in business to hustle and some people get in business to do business. And I think that's what, makes the difference.
Yes, and longevity. Now, what would you
Yes.
say to your younger self that you should have done when you look back? If I knew what I knew now, I would have done this first. Is there anything you would have changed?
Uh, Growing my business in the business space, I wouldn't have changed anything.
Right.
The beginnings, the hard work, all of that set me up for this moment, for to be in this space. I don't think that I would have gotten to this space if I wouldn't have put in the work, if I wouldn't have, worked 7 days a week for 6, 7 months. I don't think that I would be in this space. But, just being on the other side of things, certain things when you're a business owner, you're wanting to grow your brand, is things that you just have to endure and go through.
Yes. So if you are trying to start a business, you shouldn't say, oh, you know what? I'm tired of working these 40 hours a week at this job, coming in here, clocking in and clocking out, and somebody telling me what to do. I'm going to start my own company so I can get there when I want to and leave when I want to. How's that going to work out?
That's a false perception of being a business owner. I can tell you that right now. That's a false perception to think that you're going to leave someone's job and get your own business and work a 9 to 5. Let me tell you something. When you own a business, you're working all the time. You're working
Yes.
even when you don't want to work. So it's definitely hard work. That feeling like you're leaving someone's job and you're going to go work for yourself and leave at 5, that does not happen. And I talk to a lot of young ladies who are opening up businesses, and I try to, definitely encourage them and let them know that up front.
Yes.
Owning your business is a lot of work. You have to be able to suit up. You have to be able to work when nobody else don't want to work.
Right.
And you have to be creative all the time. So definitely being an entrepreneur is definitely achievable because, me, I was a cop right before I
Right.
became a spa owner, but you do have to put in the work. So yeah, if you're leaving your 9 to 5, understand you're going to be working for yourself 23 hours of the day.
And then I hear a lot of people complaining now about people not wanting to work or finding reliable employees or people that are just as passionate about your business as you are. How do you think, would you recommend like, oh, me and my best friend are gonna open this building together, or me and my family, do you think that the spa business is great for families, our best friends, or just how would you advise them on scrutinizing the help, so to speak?
Well, opening a business, you can structure it whatever suits you, right? Because you can have a family member or a sibling or a parent and you all work well together. You guys do business together, but then you have to be able to separate the two, right? Because when you have friendships and you have family members, sometimes you can get the lines kind of mixed up. And sometimes in business, we all know you have to have some uncomfortable conversations, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to my advice with that is just to make sure whomever you choose to go into business with, make sure that, you guys are on the up and up, have your paperwork together, be clear on, who's responsible for what, who has what roles, so that your business can be successful. And definitely when it comes to finding employees after the pandemic, I think everybody who own businesses, around the world, experience, dealing with employees who, don't want to work or, they're short staffed. We're experiencing it at restaurants. Everywhere we go, we're experiencing it.
Yeah, my
Um,
Starbucks, the local Starbucks, they had two
yeah,
people. I'm like, why are you guys closed 2 days a week? They're like, we don't have enough help. And I'm
yeah,
like, they're not paying unemployment. So
yeah,
what
this
are
is
these
true.
people doing for cash? Why are they not wanting to go back to work?
Yeah, but you know what I've learned though, and we all can expand and get new employees and more employees for that
Right.
matter. But I can say treating your staff right and being accessible to your employees and making them feel like you care about them, you care about what they got going on in their personal lives, it takes you a long way. I am very big with that with my staff. They have full access to me. So no matter how busy I am, even if it's something personal, I always make myself accessible. So in return, when I need them to step up or, someone's out sick, we all can jump in as a team to make it work.
Makes sense, makes sense. Now, there's a new craze that started. I would say I just heard about this within the last 2 years, and it is the yoni steam.
Yes.
Tell me, why do you think so many women are obsessed with steaming and cleaning and having this whole yoni thing going on? Like, where did that stem from, and why is it so popular?
Well, it definitely is popular. And I think the thing is that, women, we're really getting into healthcare, self-care. We're wanting to make sure that we're spending that time, we're keeping ourselves together and all of that good stuff. So the yoga steam is a really big thing. I think a lot of times, women are really like flocking to that particular services, at all spas or anywhere that offer it, for the holistic feel of things. Because let's be
Oh,
clear, doing the yoni steams, you're using fresh herbs. Some women, we're dealing with certain health issues, right?
right.
That natural herbs do heal. If they're, if you're taking them or being treated the correct way. So for me, the yoni steam is very popular with my business and popular in the industry period because of that. A lot of women, they do the yoni steams if they're experiencing heavy bleeding cycles. They use it for fertility. So herbs are very healing. And I think that's why, we're all being educated on that and wanted to indulge in some self-care.
So does it help like with women trying to get pregnant? Just I don't know. I didn't know if the men was all got together and started complaining, and then this girl was like, "Oh yeah, girl, I got the yoni thing and got my groove back," or just what type of meaning it had. Like I don't know. I heard about it watching the blogs when I
Uh-huh.
think it was Tasha K that was
Mhm.
always talking about the yonis, and she was really pushing that commercial, and I was like, "What in the world?"
Well, the thing is that it's a natural way to detox, honestly.
Okay.
So a lot of times we're going to the store and we're using, different products and things, to make sure we keep ourselves fresh,
Is it better
and
than
to
the
keep
douche?
ourselves detox. Yeah, all of that stuff is not always naturally good for you.
Okay.
So the thing is that fresh herbs is something that our ancestors used. We just, didn't know much about it, and we're learning about it and understanding how herbs work and how they can help us with detoxing. So actually, with the yoni detox, you really don't have to use, dishes and other items that we used to use, because natural herbs is the best remedy. So that's the thing. When women need things like that, or it's often better to use natural herbs than to use products that irritate us or make us be at the doctor a little bit more because we're having reactions and things like that.
Yeah. So you started jumping when you said having reactions.
They have reactions, so yeah.
Wow.
So the
So
yoni steams are definitely great.
I love
Great
it. I love
experience.
it. Now, what is the typical cost that one should look for to get a yoni steam? And then how long is the process?
Well, the process typically takes about, the steam is about 30 to 35 minutes, the actual steam.
Okay.
But there is prepping, of course, you have to undress and put on a yoni gown, or, you're not with your clothes on.
Okay.
And of course, it's a consultation prior to your appointment. So we'll talk to you about your concerns. What is it that you're wanting? Why do you want to do a yoni steam? And
Right.
we'll give you our menu to let you know what menu options we have for you. So typically a full yoni steam appointment, we would allot about an hour's time for it. So an hour is good timing for a yoni steam.
Wow. So would you recommend a yoni steam before or after getting a colonic, or within the same couple days, or just What
Well,
is like, what came first,
the
the heart or the horse?
well, you know what? To be honest, I don't think the colonic really have much to do with the vaginal area,
Right?
because the steam
Tutor to
is,
the tutor.
yeah, it's different. Look, different spaces, right?
Right.
But yeah, I think the thing is that the only thing that kind of alters the yoni steaming process at times is the woman's menstrual.
Okay.
Outside of that, for the most part, you're pretty good with it. And typically, the cost of the yoni steams can vary, depending on what's all in the experience. Some places they serve, like we have hot teas, we have champagne, we have different things, and we have also different type of blends.
Mm,
So the more complex your blend is, depending on what it is that you're wanting to get the yoni for, it can range from between anywhere from like $45 to $65, but it depends on the practitioner and their particular spa.
okay. Now, are a lot of husbands gifting their wives a yoni steam? Or if a husband is like, honey, I heard about this yoni steam, like that would make a great commercial. And he's recommending her to go get it. Should she get offended, or should she be happy that he's just like, look, babe, I want you to be healthy? And or should she think like, is he saying I'm not healthy? Like, you know what I'm saying? If a girl's boyfriend told her like, you need to go get one of them yoni steams, like, how should she view that?
Well, the thing is that I think ultimately, as women, we all love when our man compliments us, or,
Right.
tell us that they like something, or they, baby, you should try this or try that. That's what get us running, honey. So,
Okay.
I talk to our clients about that all the time. Like I tell them, your husband, your man is our manager. If he loves what we're doing, you'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So I really just don't think women really get offended by that. A lot of times, to be honest, women come to get yoni steams to have that me time.
Okay.
That time where they can, just sit with themselves. Oftentimes they bring a girlfriend along or someone they want to catch up with, and just
Right.
have that alone time where you can just woosah, you leaving the husband and the kids at home, and you're
Right.
just taking time out for yourself. For me, I take pride because our McDonald location actually has a Yoni lounge. So I have an actual lounge that is specific for that particular service.
I
And
like.
it's very holistic. When the candles are lit, the incense is going, women, they have all kind of experiences in there. A lot of women, they cry, they come out like, man, I really needed that time, by myself. So I don't think a woman would get offended if her man, tell her baby, check out the yoni, because
Okay. Yeah, because he just
you
wanted
know,
her to be all fresh, and
exactly.
plus it's him showing that he cares about, one of the most intimate parts of your body. That's
Right,
something that we as women fail to maintain as much as we should, whether
true.
it's regular visits to the gyno or just figuring, what's going on with ourselves. So are you almost like a therapist to a lot of women when they come in and they're trying to figure out like, can you look at my face and see like, do I need this? What do you recommend?
Yes. Let me tell you something. The self-care experience is therapeutic, period.
Yes.
And that's what I enjoy the most about what I do. That's what drives me. That's what made me have 3 locations. I love, 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 speaking with our clients and talking to them about their personal life, their personal things, and just being some clients I've had with me where they were pregnant and not a child in middle school, or going to middle school.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely therapeutic. And that's why it's so important to me that as Sheek, we create that self-care experience, because when you can do that, then your clients feel so comfortable and safe to share. So
Right.
yeah, definitely the self-care is therapeutic. The appointments are therapeutic.
I love it. Now, do you have packages like, okay, you could get the facial, the lash, the yoni steam, all of that at one time, or like you schedule it all out for like, they can get a package, or is there like a monthly rate? Not getting into rates, because I know every location may have different prices or whatever, but
Right.
just because it is the Galentine's time of the year, and this is going to air before then, and I want to have this under, gifts, self-care gifts, care
Right.
gifts and whatever, and push it out as that, because that would be something that I don't know if couples can come together and won't they get facials? Because men
Yes,
care about their skin a lot these days. A lot of men are
they
taking
do.
way better care of their skin than the women are. Okay. I've seen
They
some
are.
gorgeous men in Atlanta with some amazing skin, and they have to tell me that they've got some fillers here and there and some facials, and they love being pampered.
They do. They do. We definitely love the men at Sheek. You know, when they come in, they're definitely treated like kings. Self-care is important, not just only for women, definitely for men as well. But we do have some packages at Sheek. Right now, we're doing some packages for Valentine's. We
Okay.
also have the couple facial at our McDonald location, but we are offering the vajacials and the Brazilian wax packages. We also have
Wait a
some
minute, the
yoni
vajacials.
steams. Yes.
You didn't talk about the vajacials now. You talked about, you tried to get that right on in there. Now, that is not
Yes.
Leone, right?
Vajacials are
Leone.
amazing. Listen, Sheek Studio, we're here to treat the woman from head to toe. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever you need or desire, you can get it here at Sheek Studio.
Wow. That
Yes.
is like a very trustworthy like type of thing to come in there. I guess even with your skin, your face,
Mhm.
they say when people are on the roots of your hair, but I never
Mhm.
thought about it like that. But that's a lot.
Yes, it is. It is. And you know what? It's a tall order, right? Because you're creating a brand in a spa where women can just come and get anything their heart desire almost. The
Yeah,
only thing we don't do is hair, I think. But
right.
outside of that,
Who's worried about your
anything
hair when you feeling all good? Like that's the last
exactly.
thing you worried about.
Yes. So beautification is just what it's about at Chic. So yeah, we offer, vajacials. We also do back treatments. Just a lot of things for the skin
I
that people
saw a
may not think
video.
about.
I
Mhm.
saw a video where you guys did an amazing job. Someone had a lot of black spots on their back, and now
Mhm.
spring is around the corner. All
That's
these
right.
girls want to get married and have their back out. You might
Mhm.
look to coming over to Sheek Studios and getting that back touched up, ladies. How long
Yes.
does that take, do you think, to like really get in there and get those blackheads and everything? Like, how long of a process do you think they need? Because it's not a one-time treatment thing, I'm sure.
No, it's not. And definitely our estheticians are trained and they can basically, when they do the consultation, when our clients come in, they're very informative. We're letting our clients know the treatment plan. So we're big on that as She, we'll let our clients know, the treatment plan, how long it would take, for us to help them with whatever their concerns are. And, that's how we schedule our clients. And a lot of times when we do have clients that want to do treatments, we do offer memberships at Sheek Studio. So
Oh,
we
nice.
do have membership packages where you can be a VIP at Sheek Studio, which means that you get discounts on your services and you also are able to come in more frequently to keep up with your appointments and keep up um with the time frames that the esthetician tell you that you need to come in for treatment.
Oh, yeah, because estheticians were booked and busy. Like during the pandemic, I think they were. I don't know why everybody was focusing on getting their skin. I guess they were sitting at home in the mirror long enough and they were like, you know what? While I'm in the house, I better just
Mhm.
clear all
Yes,
of it out now because they were really
yes.
focused. People
Yeah,
were putting
because when
stuff
they
like booked for
yes.
3 months, 9 months, 6 months.
Mhm,
I was like,
mhm.
wow.
To be honest, when we came back from the pandemic, my business doubled that sheet. Because everyone was home, right? So you home, you looking at your husband, your man, he looking at you. You want to be cute. You want to keep yourself together, and won't have nothing to do but to look at each other because we locked in the house. Everybody
Right.
working from home and all that good stuff. So the beauty industry definitely, from all the other owners and people that I spoke to, coming back off the pandemic, we did very well. And I think that also catapulted everyone to get more into self-care and taking
Oh,
care of themselves, right? Because you was like, oh, it felt so good. If I can do this, I can juggle all of that. So yeah, it definitely changed the game for the beauty industry.
Now that was one time I was so happy I was not in a relationship because I was walking around the house looking rough. And I was like, oh, if I would feel so bad if I was with somebody, I would be trying to like fix myself up. But I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm glad I have nobody. My kids, they just had to deal with it because I
Right.
was looking real rough around here.
Yeah, I totally
Everybody's
understand.
cuticles was, we were all complaining, and you don't really find out how much you don't know how to do yourself because you're so used to running to the salon. Girl, we was all going to get them toenail clippers. We were clipping toes and doing each other. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes,
it was just
yes, the
uh,
Chronicles, okay, the COVID Chronicles.
everybody gray was coming in, their afros was coming out, like
Yes.
mustaches. People were burning themselves, trying to wax themselves. It was just like, we
It
need to
was a
get
time.
outside. It was a time. I hope
It
we
was
never
a
have to
time. Mhm.
experience anything like that again. That was just so unexpected and caught everyone off guard. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for sharing all of this with us today and our
absolutely.
audience. And I hope that there will be lots of people out there taking advantage of the vajacials and the yoga
Absolutely.
things and the facials. I
Mhm.
had the luxury of going to get a facial at one of your locations. Before we interviewed, I wanted to make sure everything was legit. No, I'm just kidding. And it was so amazing. Like the time went by so fast. I was like,
Mhm.
oh my goodness. I don't know if I was asleep, if I was woke, if I was just enjoying it, but the music was going, a little steam. And then the girls' hands were like golden. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I was
I'm
like,
so
okay, I don't know if
excited
they
that you
had gloves on
enjoyed.
or not gloves on or what was going on. I was just like, whose hands are this soft? Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
glad you enjoyed your services. And we definitely love you as Sheek. You know, honey, when you come in, everybody knows Jonelle is in the
I'm
building.
always
So
got my camera smiling, smiling.
yes, yes, yes. So we really appreciate your support. And it was definitely great. Talking to you today and then sharing information about Sheek Studio is it's amazing.
Now, let me ask you one last question. As a female entrepreneur, are you more quick to support another female in business than, just a male dominated business? Or like, do you have a special place in your heart for women in business or
I
not?
do. I do. I'm going to be 100% with you. I really, really do. Ultimately, I patronize good businesses. Let's just do
Okay,
that first.
right.
But definitely, women-owned businesses is definitely a passion for me, because I'm a Black woman who owns a business, right? So I understand the challenges that we face, and just honestly, like women, we are killing it right now
We
in the
are.
game. We're
We
owning
are.
businesses. We're out here. We're killing it. So for me, definitely paying it forward. Patronizing woman-owned businesses is definitely a passion of mine. And whenever I do get the opportunity to do so, I always make sure that I do and give back.
Awesome. Now, do you have a mentorship program? Some of our young girls always ask.
Oh yeah, I definitely. Well, I'm always available to mentor young
Okay.
ladies who are looking to come into the business. I actually have visited some of our local schools in my area where I have talked to young women, looking in the entrepreneur, skills, and they're trying to figure things out. And
Right.
I love mentoring women as well. Whether it's getting into business, whether it's taking care of yourself, just letting women know the importance of self-care. So anywhere I can mentor and be of service or help, especially when it's dealing with self-care and taking care of
Okay.
yourself, I'm in the building for it.
Okay. Because a lot of these young girls I'm finding when I go speak to the college students or the high school students, they don't want to go to college. They want to go, they want to be a lash tech, they want to be a YouTuber, they want to do a DIY thing, a how to. And a lot of them are very smart, and very creative, and they just don't want the typical 4-year university training. They rather hone in on the skill that they think they
Right.
could do well. And a lot of them are really good at doing stuff well. These my girlfriend's younger daughters, they're doing hair, they're doing lashes, they're doing nails,
Mhm.
and they're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that is the future. Like, even I have a daughter who's in esthetician school, and her thing is,
Really?
this is what I want to do.
Wow.
This is my lane. So I can totally relate to this generation and them wanting to be entrepreneurs. And a lot of times, that's what they're seeing on social media, whether it's their parents or people who have influence in their lives or their mentors who own businesses. So I think, it's kind of pushing them out of the box to do and think differently than just the traditional go to college or go to the military. So yeah, I think everyone is experiencing that and noticing, the young adults who are going into that space. And for me, my thing is I will always encourage them, do what makes you happy. But also make sure that your craft and what you're doing can pay the bills where you can eventually support yourself.
Right. Okay. All right. That's the next thing we're going to talk about. We want you to come back and we're going to talk about financing business. And I know you know about that, or not financing business, how to go about it, and a way to get these young girls started, because that is a lot of our audience is Generation Z. And some of these girls are just lost. So I love, your level of professionalism and your care. And like I say, I know you have the patience of Job if you were lash tech, so you can have the patience that I know I don't have when it comes to dealing with these young people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I
Thank
I
you so
really
much.
appreciate it. I really appreciate you bringing me on today. It was exciting. It was fun.
And
And
where do you want the people to follow you?
oh, you can follow me on Instagram on Margo underscore the Beauty Guru. And
Okay.
also follow us at Sheek Studio GA on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna make sure that I put that up for everyone to get it on the screen. And thank you so much, Miss Taylor. Margo, the Beauty Guru.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks so much. I enjoyed.
All right. Have an amazing day.
Okay, you too.